My name is Deborah Hendricks, and I'm with the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program at the University of Florida. And today we have the pleasure of speaking with
Venethia Cook, V as in Victor, Enethiacook.
And
Jacinth Bryant, Jacintha Bryant.
Okay, great. And thank you both for taking the time to do this today.
No, thank you. Thank you for listening and taking this time to give us this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll just start with the one question, the date that the killing occurred.
July 13th, 2020, he was shot around 11:30, and he died July 14th, one day before my birthday, 2020.
Okay. And the relationship.
I'm his mother.
And do you have a relationship?
I'm his aunt.
It's a good relationship. All right, and do you know who he was killed by?
He was killed by Officer Max H. Carneal, Austell, Georgia, with Cobb County Police Department.
Okay. And that is Georgia?
Yes, in Austell, Georgia.
Georgia, okay. Was there any attempt to prosecute these officers?
My son was shot and killed around election time. The DA Flynn Brody of Cobb County did approach us during the election and introduced himself to the family and assured us that if he won the election, he would present my son's case to a criminal grand jury. He lied to us. He won the election, and he did not present my son's case to a criminal grand jury. Instead, he presented it to a special grand jury for advice. So at this moment, the case is closed. The officer is clear, and he is still a police officer of Cobb County Police Department.
Wow. Okay. Case is closed. Okay. I guess my next question would be, can we talk about who your son was in life? Talk about who he was.
My son, he was 17 years old. He was a bright and ambitious teen. He was known for his funny personality and his AAA skills, astonishing athletic ability, which got him a spot on one of the top championship teams with the Police Athletic League. He played soccer and ran track for the Police Athletic League. He was a camp counselor for the Police Athletic League, and he attended after-school programs for the Police Athletic League. So my son looked up to officers, and for him to have his life taken by the ones that's supposed to serve and protect us is heartbreaking. My son was he was just very bright, and he would brighten up the room. He's very helpful and very respectful. He was not in the streets. Kids are supposed to learn from their mistakes, and unfortunately my son did not learn. He was given no chance at all.
Would you like to just tell the story of how he was killed?
Yes, on July 13th, he was picked up from his grandmother's house by a couple of friends, and the car was stolen, and the police attempted to pull them over. He was a passenger. The driver did not stop. Instead, led the police on a slow speed chase, which they ended up behind a closed, dark warehouse, where the police attempted numerous pit maneuvers. The car finally came to a stop. The driver jumped out and ran. My son jumped from the passenger side to the driver's side to exit the vehicle. 2 seconds after he exited the vehicle, he was shot twice. He hit the floor. As the police officers, they put him in handcuffs, and he's asking the officer, "Why did you shoot me?" Those are my son's last words. "Why did you shoot me? I'm dying." They attempted incorrect CPR, and I say incorrect because my son was still in handcuffs after he lost conscious. He regained his pulse back, and he was transported to the hospital where he later died after surgery. Right after the shooting, you can see on video camera and body camera, you can see Officer Max H. Carneal being coerced by his fellow officer, being coerced on what to say once Superior arrives. They are also seen laughing, joking, putting on hair, doing their hair and makeup to look good for the media, as my son is fighting for his life. I'm sorry, the story has been changed multiple times. The first story states that my child shot at the police. The second,
So he brandished a weapon.
The second one was that he pointed the gun at the police. The third one is, he brandished a gun. Until now, the DA said that he cleared the officer because my son was running towards an officer with a gun in his hand, which is not true. On YouTube, his killing is on YouTube. If you would like to Google his name, it's on YouTube. Nobody was in front of my son except his friend that jumped out and ran first. And then my son jumped out and ran. My son had 2 cell phones in his hand. Unfortunately, a gun was found, but there's no clear image of a gun ever being in my son's hand. The GBI reports indicate that a gun was found, and that it does not indicate that a gun was ever in my son's hand. You know, it's been tough. But that's the story. That's where we are now. Like I said, the DA did close the case, but we are fighting. We are reaching out to the FBI and the U.S. Attorney General. So hopefully soon we will have some answers and justice.
So this has really impacted your family?
Tremendously. Vincent was my first son. I had him at 17 years old. So we've grown together, we learned together, like we lived together. So it's always been, just me and him. I do have a 9-year-old son, but for about 8 or 9 years, he was the only son. So, and as you see, he's my twin. He looks just like me, and he's loved by his family. He has a 9-year-old brother that now plays at home alone. He's just used to having that brotherly love, and I have to sit there and watch my son not have that anymore. He doesn't have that brother to teach him how to hit the backwards flips, or how to just how to maintain and live in life being a boy. So that's hard, and it's so painful. My birthday every year will be of my son's death. So at this moment, like I said, we're fighting like any other parents would do. This killing is
ridiculous.
It's very it's injustifiable. It's no way. How can you shoot someone in the back, not once but twice, and get away with it? And then on top of that, it's multiple families out here. It's like the same story over and over and over again, where the DAs are lying. In the officer's interview, he stated, I was protecting myself and the officers behind me. So if you're behind my son and the officers behind you, where was the immediate threat?
If he's running this way.
My son is running away. You're behind my son. There's no immediate threat. So Flynn Brody, he lied to this family and to multiple families. And so I flew here all the way from Atlanta to get my baby's story heard.
Well, it will be heard now. Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
I would just like to just say it's time for a change. It's time for a change. It's enough. Children, we are human beings. Everybody survived the same way. We all breathe the same oxygen. We all have the same organs. We all have the same survival skills. So, it's time for a change, and it's time to accept that everybody in this world is going to look different. if everybody looked the same in this world, what type of world would this be? It's time to, look at everybody, no matter what color, shape, size, as human beings. We are all human beings. We all have feelings, and, we deserve to live. They're killing more and more children nowadays. My son was 17, but I know it's a 13. I remember the 13-year-old boy that they killed. They're just killing our children, and that is our future. So let our children grow and learn from their mistakes, because nobody is perfect. Laws are there. They're going to be broken. That is what the jails and the prisons are for. Stop killing our children. Stop killing our children.
That's some pretty tough things to navigate.
It is.
We definitely thank you for sharing all that. Would you like to, did you want to hold up the banner? You don't
Sure.
have to, but we can get that. We'll get that back there, I think. Yeah, I'll just take that. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's great. Perfect. Okay. All right. And here is the family of Vincent Truitt. Thank you. Thank you very much.